Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I would like to present some interview skills. Very essential part in student's life. All the how to prepare a resume, I mean curriculum vitae. What are the frequently asked questions? What is the dress code? What is the code of behavior? What is formal? What is informal? What kind of questions would we expect? And what is the mindset of interviewer? At the same time, how globally the questions are gathered, all the stuff you can experience. For example, preparing curriculum vitae, I mean a resume, not resume. Next one, preparing for interview. For example, dress code, gesture, eye contact. But these things can be different from country to country, company to company. So we can provide all the examples. For example, what are the most frequently asked questions regarding your free time, studies, hobbies, family background, your strength and weakness? All things will be covered here. Just keep watching. Here is just a sample conversation between the interviewer and the applicant. Interviewer: what do you consider your greatest strengths?
I am hardworking, I am dependable, and I am good communicator.
Do you know about what we do here? I mean, in our company.
Yes, I have read a lot about the company in the newspaper. I have looked closely at the information on your website.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, can you tell me more about the specific job responsibilities? I would be interested to know more about the company's history and its work.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Polish your interview skills. Tips from experts. When interviewing, you have to follow these guidelines. Going to job interview can be a very challenging experience. A lot of people are probably applying for the same job. What can you do to make a good impression and stand out from the crowd? The expert says, be prepared. Learn about the company before you interview. Find out about the company's products and services. Read about the company in the newspaper or try to find information on the internet. Many companies have their own websites with lots of information. Also, dress properly for the interview. Don't wear casual clothes. Dress neatly and conservatively. That's very important. Prepare in advance. Don't be hurry. For the type of questions will probably be asked. The interviewer will almost likely ask you to tell about your backgrounds, education, and experience. If you are employed, the interviewer may ask you why you want to leave our current job, or if you are not employed at the time of interview, the interviewer might ask why you left your last job. You should be prepared to talk about what you know about the company. Don't be surprised if you are asked what your strengths and weakness. Be ready to answer the questions about how you deal with the present pressure at work. An interviewer will mostly likely ask you how you get along with the co-workers. You may be asked what your future goals are. And don't forget that interviewer will probably ask you if you have any questions. And questions కూడా అడుగుతారు ఒకసారి మనల్ని, అది కూడా గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలి. Be sure to answer the interviewer's questions honestly. Don't provide false answers. Try to show that you are motivated, responsible, and very interested in the job. Be confident, but don't brag about yourself. Don't say how great you are. Instead, give examples of the things you have done previously in your education or in your job. Don't say how great you are. Instead, give examples of the things you have done that shows your strength. Be prepared for when the interview also if you have any questions. Be prepared for when the interviewer asks if you have any questions. You can ask about the job responsibilities, the company in general, when the position will be filled. Other things, some experts say that it is not a good idea to ask too many questions about salary, holidays, vacations, benefits during the first interview. If the company has follow-up interview for the position, that might be better time for the such a questions. Before you leave the interview, make sure you know the names and titles of all the people you met. Make sure you know the names and titles of all employees you met with a thank you letters to the interviewer and as well as soon as possible. Say thank you for the interviewer's time. Describe why you think you are the right person for the job and offer to go back for another interview if they want you to. So, how people find jobs? Fact file. See, here is a graph. Employment agents only 11%, want ads 14%, networking 35%, contacting employee directly 30%, others 10%. Networking has major role. Contributing 35%. So here we go. There are some common interview questions. Just look at them. Tell about your background, education and experience. Why do you want to leave your current job? Why did you leave your last job? What do you know about the company? What are your strengths and weaknesses? How do you deal with the pressure at work? How do you get along with co-workers? What are your future goals? Do you have any questions? Here is a candidate, Sarah Jones, want a job. Interview yesterday at a computer software company. First, the interviewer asked her about her background, experience. She told about where she had gone to school, what she had studied, and what kinds of jobs she had had so far. When the interviewer asked her why she wanted to leave her current job, she said that she was looking for a more challenging position. Then the interviewer asked Sarah what she knew about the company. She answered that she used to some of the company's software and she had read articles about the company in the newspaper. Then the interviewer asked what her strengths and weaknesses were. She replied that she worked very hard and got along with other people. But she had some problems writing business letters. She explained that she was now taking a business writing class at a local college. Finally, the interviewer asked Sarah if she had any questions. Sarah asked if the job required a lot of travel. She asked what the company's plans for the future were. As soon as she got home, Sarah wrote a thank you note to the interviewer. She got selected. Applicant Bob Mills. Who got the job? Let us see. Bob Mills went to a job interview yesterday at the same company. First, the interviewer asked him about his background and experience. Bob said he had listed all that information on his resume and the interviewer could find it there. When the interviewer asked him why he wanted to change employers, Bob replied that he was looking for a job with shorter hours and fewer responsibilities. Then the interviewer asked what he know about the company. Bob said he was not really familiar with the company's products and he asked what they were. When the interviewer asked what his strengths and weaknesses were, Bob said he had not really thought about that before, but it was a good question. Finally, the interviewer asked Bob if he had any questions. Bob asked if he could have 25 vacations, holidays during his first year, and he wanted to know whether he could be able to bring his dog to the office every day. Bob went home feeling good about the interview. He thought it had gone well and he walked before the company to call. But who got the job? Why do you think they got job? Both of them. వాళ్ళ మీకు జాబ్ ఎవరికి వచ్చింది? ఆ లేడీకే జాబ్ వచ్చింది అనమాట. ఓకే, సో హియర్ ఇస్ ద హౌ ద ఇంటర్వ్యూవర్ విల్ ఆస్క్ క్వశ్చన్స్. లెట్ us take a glance. Job interviews can be very different around the world. An interviewer's questions, the body language that should be used, and the formalities of interviews vary from country to country. If you are at a job interview in Japan, don't look directly into the eyes of the interviewer. It is considered rude. But if you are at an interview in the United States, you should definitely make eye contact with the interviewer. If you don't, the interviewer may think you are not the trustworthy or confident. In the United States and more around the countries, interviewers aren't supposed to ask questions about family, material status, and other personal information. In most countries, however, personal questions are very common during job interviews. In France, shake hands with interviewers light, not family. In many other countries, you should shake hands formally because a firm shake hand is a sign of confidence. In Germany, the interviewer light being with the very short informal conversation followed by a formal interview. In Mexico and in many other countries, the informal small talk might take longer, and in some cases the entire interview might be informal. Thank you very much. So he is a reporter recently interviewed Monica Salinas, a human resource manager for a long insurance company. As a job interviewer, Miss Selene reads thousands of resumes and interviews hundreds of people each year. So here is some small questions. Tell about your job. I am responsible for the interview applicants for all the available positions in our company. Our firm is ready, very large, so we receive more than 15 resumes and interviews up to 10 people each day. It's a lot of work. Question: what are your favorite interview questions? I like to ask applicants how they think other people would describe them. I also like to ask about weekend activities, hobbies, and other things that help me get to know the applicant as a person. What are the most memorable interview in your life? It was with a young woman from Brazil. She had only been in this country for 4 years. When she arrived, she didn't speak a word of English. But at her interview, her English was excellent. She said she had taken English courses and then studied business at a community college. She said she was the first person from her family to go to college. She impressed me so much. I asked her how she could contribute to our company. She said she would be the hardest worker here. Well, she is. I hired her, and last month she was chosen Employee of the Year and received a big bonus check. I asked her what she was going to do with the extra money. She said she was going to do with the extra money. She said that she had already sent it to her family in Brazil, so they could start building new home. Next question: have you had any unusual interview? An applicant said he was hungry. He opened a paper bag, took out a sandwich, and ate during the entire interview. Another time, an applicant was so nervous that she fainted. I got her some water and offered reschedule the interview. She was lying on the floor, but she said that she was okay and wanted to continue. I sat with her on the floor and we had very nice conversation. What is your best piece of advice for someone going to a job interview? Be careful, smile, relax, and be honest. Let the interviewer see what you really are. Here are some praisal verbs at the interview. Look at the first picture. Don't put your foot in your mouth. What does it mean? Don't talk the interviewer's head off. Don't inflate your resume. Don't beat around the bush. Do you know these expressions? Don't put your foot in your mouth. Don't talk the interviewer's head off. Don't inflate your resume. Don't beat around the bush. See, match the answers. Answer the questions briefly. First A. B. Answer questions directly. C. Don't say the wrong thing. Don't exaggerate your skills and experience. So, this is the way how to prepare an interview. So, this is the way how to prepare for interview. And in my next video, I would like to make how to prepare a resume. So, keep watching my next channel. Thank you very much.